Let me start this video by telling you simply that just 2 years back, I hated chemistry. And now, I'm literally doing my bachelor's degree in chemistry. How did this happen? It was because I understood the exact way to study chemistry. If you are a student who is going to give their JEE or Neet next year or in 2025, this video is for you. Chemistry is a sneaky subject. If you master it, you rank. If you don't, forget about clearing it in the first place. Most students end up putting their focus in physics and math in case of JEE and biology in the case of Neet, but end up entirely ignoring chemistry because they find it very difficult to do so. So many terms, so many reactions, so many properties to remember. But there is a simpler way of dealing with all of this. Today, I will give you some easy to apply tips for studying chemistry. So, let's get going. I have divided this video into 3 parts: physical, inorganic, and lastly the most dreaded one, organic chemistry. For physical chemistry, first start off by building a strong foundation. Start by focusing on the fundamental concepts and theories. Make sure you have a solid grasp of concepts for chapters such as atomic structure, chemical bonding, and your solid states. Once you clear these basic topics, you'll be able to build more and more on this. So when it comes to the kind of bonds, when it comes to crystal lattices, and a lot more concepts, once your basics are cleared out, you'll be able to build on these advanced concepts. The textbooks I recommend: easily go through your NCERT. It is the basis for all of your competitive exams. Once you're able to clear out concepts from your NCERT, you should be good to go. Your goal should be to understand each and every concept thoroughly. And if you get stuck, feel free to reach out to your teachers, to your mentors, and even YouTube for that matter. Secondly, practice, practice, and practice. Physical chemistry is not just about understanding the concepts, it is also about being able to correctly apply those concepts. And this is where practice comes in. Regular practice is the key to mastering this subject. Remember this forever. Solve a variety of numericals. You'll have so many sources on the internet and your textbooks for that matter that you can use to solve different kinds of numericals so that you're exposed to the kind of questions that can come across. Also, I recommend solving the previous year's JEE and Neet papers so that you have a hang of the kind of questions that have been asked previously so that you can predict the kind of questions that come in your paper. As you practice, make sure you take a note of the important steps that you have to take care of when you're solving those questions. This develops a systematic approach for solving any general question so that your head is clear when you end up encountering those different kind of questions in your paper. And of course, to understand those concepts, create teaching aids for yourself that suit your learning style. Maybe use visual aids or mnemonics. They can help you with a lot of abstract concepts. So like as an example, there was a student of mine who uses very interesting mnemonic for PV is equal to nRT. That guy remembered it as, please visit New York right tomorrow. I mean, that works so well. Moving on to inorganic chemistry, your basics. Start understanding the periodic table, the periodic properties, and chemical bonding. Chemistry for your grade 11th and 12th is all about understanding the trends of periodic properties with each and every element and their groups. So that will be your first goal, to understand the trends in, say, atomic size, electronegativity, electron gain enthalpy, ionization potential, and a lot more properties. Understand how their trend changes and the reasons behind them. This will be helpful for you to predict how these elements will form compounds. Here too, understanding the kind of bonds that are formed is important. Understand the basics of ionic, covalent, metallic bond, Van der Waals forces, London forces, all of these, understand the importance and the basics behind it. Understanding what Lewis structures indicate understanding what formal charge is, understanding how resonance plays an important role when it comes to inorganic compounds will help you clarify in your head how these compounds work in real life. Then secondly, you'll be building your more advanced concepts like coordination chemistry and transition elements. So your D and F blocks get taken care over here. Coordination chemistry is the examiner's favorite topics. This comes in papers so often, and trust me, it is very scoring if done right. So pay attention to topics like coordination number, isomers, ligands, the type, so on and so forth. Also understand the nomenclature of transition metals and for the compound that they form, and the trends in their properties as well. To solidify the amount of knowledge that you'll be gaining for inorganic chemistry, again, use your visual aids or mnemonics that help you out. This should suit your learning style and should be done by you, for you. Now, finally, the dreaded subject, organic chemistry. As always, understand the basics. Organic chemistry, we're dealing with carbon compounds and how these carbon compounds are formed, what groups affect what properties of those compounds, and how they're applicable in our daily lives. To excel in this subject, it is important to understand the basics of bonding, hybridization, molecular geometry. Focus on learning exactly the difference between sigma bonding, pi bonding, understand VS-EPR theories, understand VBT, understand MOT, understand hybridization, and start looking into functional groups, carboxylic acids, aldehydes, ketones, halogens, and so on and so forth. Then move on to understanding reaction mechanisms. There are so many reactions that are existing in organic chemistry, but you can generalize them by understanding how your reactions work. Understanding the mechanism, understanding what electron pair goes where, what species what attacks what reactant, helps you out in visualizing how these reactions will proceed, generalizing the kind of procedure that you need to be putting in, and ultimately helping you in not bothering to remember all of those reactions. You just have to remember the names. That's all you need to do. This will also help in those questions where you have to predict products and complete reactions as well. But for this, regular practice is vital. How do you do that? You take a reaction mechanism, understand it in detail, and try and form reactions with different reactants, try and predict the product, and check it up on the internet to make sure that you're right. That ensures that you're understanding in a much deeper level how these mechanisms work. What kind of visual aids can you use for this? You can use a molecular kit if you want to understand how isomerization works in 3D, especially when it comes to stereoisomers. You'll understand how, say, cis isomers, trans isomers, E, Z isomers, all of those work out. You'll be able to visualize them better. Also, flashcards. So you can have reactions like the reactant side on one side of the flashcard and the products that are formed on the other. That way you can maybe remember the smaller reactions or the basic reaction mechanisms. There you have it. This was my simpler guide of how do you study chemistry. If you like this video, make sure to, of course, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this content with every single person who thinks that chemistry is the scariest subject of them all. Trust me, it's not, and I hope by now you also have the confidence to be able to attempt any single chemistry question that comes your way. Also, if you wish to work with me one-on-one, trying to understand how to go about studying, say, chemistry, biology, physics, or anything for that matter, there's a link that I've put in for a free 30-minute session with me. Again, link is in the description down below for that. Make sure you register on time. That's all for today. See you next time. Till then, study hard, study smart, and happy learning.